When you are under extreme stress, it doesn't just feel like a bad day, it feels like an ocean of pressure is crushing you from every single direction. You aren't just dealing with a toxic boss, you're dealing with the threat of unemployment, the fear of losing your house, and the dread of failure all at once. The variables are completely unmanaged, and you feel like you are drowning in open space. But Genesis 1:6 shows us that when the pressure increases, the solution isn't to wish the water away. The solution is to build a vault. Genesis 1 verse 6 says, "And God said, Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." God looked at a chaotic, infinite ocean and he didn't panic. He built a structural expanse right in the middle of it, a solid barrier to hold the weight of the deep. This is what it means to establish a certainty structure. It means you stop negotiating with the chaos and you build an unshakable boundary that can take the pressure. You acknowledge that ships can sink and markets can crash, that's the water. But you build a firmament so that the external chaos cannot crash down into your psychological core. How do you build a firmament when your life feels completely overwhelmed? You use the "I do this anyway" principle to create structural buffers between you and the pressure. You don't wait for the world to stop pressing, you build a structure that can handle the weight. You create heavy, non-negotiable boundaries for your life. The financial firmament, the economy is volatile? You cut all unnecessary subscriptions, lock down a strict bare-bones budget, and auto-save $20 a week anyway. That is a structural vault. The attentional firmament, the news cycle and social media are driving you crazy? You put your phone in another room at 8 p.m. and refuse to touch it anyway. That is a structural vault. The relational firmament, people around you are spiraling? You love them, but you set an absolute boundary on what behaviors you will tolerate in your home anyway. That is a structural vault. These are not fragile, wishful thoughts. These are structural anchors. Every time you build a hard, operational boundary, you are telling the chaos, you can rage above me, and you can surge below me, but you cannot cross this line. I have built a firmament. Stop living entirely in hypothetical, unmanaged space. Life will always have pressure, and entropy will always try to push inward. But you are not a fragile leaf meant to be crushed by the waves. You are an architect of order. If the ocean is roaring around you today, don't run and don't fold. Stand up in the middle of the deep, look the chaos in the face, and build your firmament. Hold the weight, organize your space, and rule over the storm. This is I Am Ahava Ministries. What you have carries power. A like, a subscribe, or a comment of encouragement. Peace and see you in the next message.